Welcome to Across the Globe. Today we will learn about setting up configuration files. Configuration files in Django store project settings and parameters. The primary configuration file, settings.py, houses crucial settings like database, static files, and middleware configurations. For instance, to set up a PostgreSQL database for a Django project, one would update the database's dictionary in settings.py with necessary connection details. Additionally, to manage static files like CSS and JavaScript, static URL and static root settings would be defined in settings.py to specify the URL and directory for serving static files, respectively. These configurations ensure the proper functioning and behavior of the Django project. To create a custom config file in a Python project, simply create a new Python file, like custom settings.py, and define the settings you want to customize. In this file, you can set specific configurations such as debug mode or a secret key. For instance, in a Django project, you may create custom settings.py to set debug as true and define a custom secret key. You can import these configurations into the main settings.py file to apply these custom settings in your project. By adhering to this practice, you can keep your main settings file organized and modular, making it easy to manage and configure specific settings separately for different environments or scenarios. To include a custom config file in the settings.py of a Django project, you need to import the custom settings.py file at the bottom of the settings.py file. This can be achieved by adding the following line in the settings.py file: Python from custom settings import shurl. By doing this, you can access the custom configurations defined in the custom settings.py file within your Django project. When working with Django, environment variables provide a method for handling configuration. They serve as a secure option for storing sensitive data such as API keys and passwords. By using the Python decouple package, you can easily work with environment variables in Django. Storing your variables in a .env file ensures that they are kept separate from your source code, enhancing security and facilitating easier management. This approach helps maintain clean and secure configuration setups in Django projects, preventing accidental exposure of sensitive information. In Python's settings.py file, you can retrieve environment variables by importing the decouple package and applying the config function. By doing so, you can access essential variables like secret key securely. For instance, in the settings.py file, use from decouple import config and then specify secret key config secret key to retrieve the secret key variable from the environment. This method ensures sensitive information such as API keys or database credentials are securely stored externally and accessed within the application as needed. Setting up configuration files is like creating a recipe for a dish. Just like how a recipe outlines the ingredients and steps needed to make a dish, a configuration file outlines the settings and parameters needed to run a program. Each ingredient in a recipe corresponds to a setting in a configuration file. Following a recipe allows you to recreate a dish, just like following a configuration file allows you to set up a program correctly. Hey, Code Conquerors! Ready to level up? With TechLearn ATG, showcase your skills with official course certificates. Just visit our site and start. Need that extra boost? Get tailored learning, 24/7 support, and expert guidance. Coding smarter, growing faster, and making learning fun. Go to our website across the globe, www.atg.world. The process of setting up configuration files in a Django project can be likened to following a recipe to cook a dish. Just like how a recipe provides a list of ingredients and instructions, the settings.py file in our Django project acts as a central configuration file that contains essential settings. In our example, we started by creating a new Django project called Movie App and a custom app named Movies. We then set up our project settings in the settings.py file. This included configuring the database, defining installed apps, specifying a secret key for security, setting the debug mode, and listing allowed hosts for the project. In the Movies app, we defined a model for movies in the models.py file. We then migrated the database to create the necessary tables for our models. Additionally, we created a view to display a list of movies and a corresponding template to render this list in HTML. The URLs were configured in the movies/urls.py file to map the view to a URL path within the app. We also included these app-specific URLs in the project-wide movie app/urls.py file to make them accessible. By running the development server and navigating to pause/localhost 8000/, we could see the list of movies displayed on the web page. This demonstration showcases the importance of setting up configuration files in a Django project for proper functioning and organization, much like following a recipe to create a cohesive dish. In a manufacturing plant setting, setting up configuration files is analogous to configuring the parameters and specifications of a production line to ensure efficient and consistent output. For instance, in an automotive assembly line, various settings need to be configured in the robotic arms, conveyors, sensors, and other machinery to produce vehicles accurately and without errors. 1. Configuring robotic arms. Just like setting up a configuration file in a software project, programming robotic arms in a manufacturing plant requires defining parameters such as speed, angle of movement, and precision. These settings ensure that the robotic arms perform tasks like welding, painting, or assembly with high accuracy and efficiency. 2. Setting conveyor speeds. Configuring conveyor belts in a factory is crucial for optimizing the flow of materials and components along the production line. Similar to adjusting settings in a configuration file, determining the speed, direction, and spacing of conveyors ensures seamless movement of parts between workstations, minimizing bottlenecks and optimizing throughput. By carefully setting up configuration files in software development and industrial processes, organizations can streamline operations, maintain consistency, and achieve desired outcomes efficiently. Just as in our example of creating a Django project with a settings.py configuration file, attention to detail and accuracy in configuring industrial settings lead to improved productivity and quality across the globe. Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next video.